He wasn't singing about a lover, he was singing to his wife, to his daughter, to his lost dream. He closed his eyes, tears welling, not from sadness, but from the sheer, cathartic release of pouring his soul into the one thing he was ever truly good at. The judges were mesmerized. The formidable woman's stern expression softened. She leaned forward, resting her chin on her hand, utterly absorbed. The audience, which had been buzzing with polite indifference, grew stone silent. The applause wasn't weak and pitying this time, it was a wave of genuine, rising adoration. When he finished the song, the silence that followed was immense and powerful, broken only by the sound of the guitar pick falling from his hand. He looked down, embarrassed, and then looked up at the faces of the judges. The male judge was the first to speak, his voice thick with emotion. "Eli, that was more than an audition. That was a prayer. You didn't just sing. You gave us the soul of a man who has lived and loved and suffered. It was the most beautiful, authentic tribute to that song I have ever heard." The formidable woman picked up the microphone, her eyes shining. She didn't mince words. "Eli Reyes. I came into this expecting a cheap imitation, a tired caricature. What I got was a world-class, heart-wrenching performance. Your voice is raw, and I mean that as the highest compliment. It's the voice of a man who knows what true love and true sacrifice feel like. You may be singing Elvis, but you are not his king. You are your own king." Eli stood there, tears now streaming down his face, his immaculate white jumpsuit suddenly feeling like a royal robe. The audience rose to their feet in a thunderous, prolonged standing ovation, chanting his name, "Eli! Eli! Eli!" Then, the emotional twist, a cameraman, following a silent signal from the female judge, slowly panned across the audience. In the middle of the crowd, standing frozen, her hand over her mouth, was Maria. She had taken a day off, telling her papa she was covering a shift, and instead followed him, intending to just watch for a moment and then leave before he saw her. She had come to confirm her fears, but instead, she witnessed his triumph. The shame she felt melted away, replaced by an overwhelming, powerful pride. Her father was not a failure, he was an artist. He was a champion. As the judges gave him 3 unanimous yes votes, Maria pushed through the crowd, running down the aisle, her nurse's scrubs a splash of blue in the sea of faces. Eli, still trying to process the judge's words, saw her. She didn't speak. She just ran up to the stage, climbed the steps, and threw her arms around him, burying her face in his sequined shoulder. "Papa," she whispered, her voice choked with tears. "I am so sorry. I am so proud of you. I never truly listened." Eli held his daughter tight, his old heart finally mended. He had his dream, he had the validation of the world, but most importantly, he had his daughter back. That was the real prize. The stage lights, which once felt so harsh and exposing, now felt like the warmth of the sun. He wasn't the man who sang for spare change, he was the man who owned the AGT stage. He was the Filipino Elvis who found his own true voice. The story of Eli Reyes, the aging Filipino Elvis, swept the globe, his audition video going instantly viral. He didn't just compete, he inspired. He reminded millions that the dream is never too old, the stage is never too big, and the most powerful voice is always the one that speaks from the truth of a kind, struggling heart. Eli didn't win the $1 million, but he won something far more valuable, a second chance at life, a restored family, and the knowledge that one powerful act of vulnerability can change everything. He often sings Unchained Melody now, but his favorite song remains If I Can Dream. Because now, he knows. He knows that with kindness and belief, the world will always have a place for one more king.